Okay, so I did the Avengers arcade stream, the whole game, and I talked a lot about the game that me and my buddy used to play all the time called Captain America and the Avengers. I think I said the X-Men live stream. If I said Captain America, forgive me. It's very early. It's Christmas Eve. I've had 1 cup of coffee, trying to get a bunch of these done because I'm getting ready for a whatnot auction. I'll tell you about that during this video, but anyway, the arcade went up. You know, I said, I don't know, $700 a lot of money for an X-Men game that took 35 minutes to beat. But the game that I thought was actually better than the X-Men was Captain America and the Avengers. It's another 4-player game. I'm going to play it now. Let's put in a quarter. And in this case, you know, I said, you know, in the X-Men, I always like to use Colossus as opposed to Wolverine. Well, in this one, I sure like to use Captain America. And I think I need to put in a lot of quarters on this game. By assembling a team of supervillains, the Red Skull seeks to conquer the world. This is a great 4-player game. He has used his wealth to assemble his evil team. He has used a mind control machine to hire... I don't know. Now he controls their every action. A lot of bad guys you're going to fight here if you're familiar with the Avengers. But we got to stop him. I thought, as opposed to the X-Men game, this one has a lot more variety. Scene 1 is the Avengers. I do like to play as Cap. Better put in my quarters here. See, if you put in quarters, it just keeps making your life stronger. So, yes, it is a beat-em-up game. In this one, Cap can throw the shield, of course. Boom. And you can also use things like rocks. The whack. I like to beat them up. The graphics on this are not as polished as they are on the X-Men one. I can admit that. But I just think this is a more fun game, to be honest with you. It's a little harder. Believe me, I used to be able to beat it in like 4 quarters, but that's when the shield comes in handy. 2 players here. Watch, I'll dispose of him with a pop can. Jackass. There we go. Kaboom. They've already destroyed a lot of property. There's a, you know, and even though the Red Skull's got a mind control thing, one of his clowns here is he's robbing a bank. Don't disturb us. Why should it goes well? The dialogue in this is not the thrilling. It's Klaw and Living Laser. Which if you get caught in between them, as you can see, there's a lot of lasers. But when you have infinite amount of quarters, you don't need to try as hard. A couple swats the shield there. Oh, what are we doing here? Other people can join in. Like I said, the Vision is one that you can use. There's Quicksilver came to help. Quicksilver, other Avengers will come and give you like power-ups. One of the things I like here is you can throw people onto others. As you see, we're in the first level. Yeah, my buddy and I used to go to a comic book shop where I lived here. I told this story in the other one. And one day we went in there. We would always go on New Comic Day, which I think back in the day was Wednesday, still is. And they had a Captain America machine. And so we only had, you know, we'd bought a bunch of comic books. So, you know, we didn't have a ton of extra cash. Maybe like, I don't know, a couple bucks. And so we played this and we had a good time. So the next time we went, we each had like $10. I like how he tells me he'll be the one escaping. Anyway, so we had like $10. Whirlwind's hard to beat. And we had like the whole 10, and we got close to the end. We got to the moon level, the moon base, where you're fighting the Red Skull. And we ran out of money, which is heartbreaking because it's not like you can ask the guy at the comic book stand to hit you up for, you know, a couple bucks to play the game that they're renting. But we lost, and so the next week we were like, okay, we're beating this. And one more hit. Throw your shield, Cap. And we're like, well, we're going to win. So we each had an extra 20 on us. And we go there, and it's gone. Goddamn Street Fighter machine is in its place. Other towns are being taken over. See, I'm talking to the other Avengers. Hawkeye's really good to use in this game, too. So if you're going to play a 2-player, I'd recommend 1 be Cap, 1 be Hawkeye. If you're going to do the 4-player, of course, you use them all. Vision is the weakest character, in my opinion. I like this level a lot. Like I said, this game has a lot of variety. But anyway, there was no Captain America game. So we were pissed. So when this came out on Sega Genesis, I think, well, you got a Genesis and a Super Nintendo. I was just a Sega guy. So when the Sega came out, I went to the toy store. At the time, there were still toy stores, KB toy stores. And I bought it. And I called my friend and I was like, I got it. I got the game. And I picked him up. And he was down my house. And I mean, we did this quick. Like, I saw him close to 10 minutes later. And, you know, we finished it. We had to use a cheat at first to get more levels. Then we ended up, there's Wonder Man. We ended up getting so good at it. We just started beating it easy. Now, as you can see, I'm putting in a lot of quarters. But this level, like I said, the X-Men game's fun. The X-Men game looks better. It is, aesthetically, it's a better game. But this game here is just, there's more variety. Like you can see already, I'm in a shooting level, which I used to be really good at and never take a hit, but I'm also half asleep. And I'm flying over New York City here. It's just a standard, like an arcade shooting level. There's a lot of shit coming at you, as you can see. Some things go down with one shot. Wonder Man here, he gives you more, he gives you the Wasp. So you can actually shoot the Wasp at things, which comes in very handy. As you can see, I'll shoot her at this ship, and it'll help take it down a lot quicker. To shoot her, you just push both buttons. She's limited, though. She's not going to stay with you for the whole level, which kind of stinks, because you could use her help. There's, you'll see a couple other varieties. The levels are kind of like this, but there's a really neat underwater level. I think I fight a Sentinel. It's been a little while since I played this. So the question comes back. $700 for the arcade one-up. Well, this game, if you saved your old systems, it is retro. So you can play it on Xbox. You can play it on Sega. They just call it Giant Robot, which I never understood why. You can also play it on, you can play it on Super Nintendo, you can play it on Sega Genesis. It does not have, I mean, there's no next gen releases for it, which is a little surprising with all this. Not to say it won't ever be remade, but is it worth $700 on the arcade one-up? Well, it is a good game. I gotta kill the giant robot, hang on. Kabloom. Hand is already getting sore. Better grab my soda can, because these are deadly in this game. See what I mean? The shield can't stop the soda can. Get hardcore here. Is it worth $700? You know, I mean, that's up for debate. I think that's a lot of money for two games. I'm not saying it doesn't look nice like I've covered in the X-Men one. It is a very nice looking cabinet. It's an amazing cabinet. Yeah, it's always nice to do. Bear hugged. If you're buying it for the terms of just having the cabinet with the graphic art, sure, buy it. If you're buying it for the purpose of the game, I think there's cheaper routes out there. Like I said, there are a lot of Raspberry Pi sticks that have this game. Bud. I hate this guy. I hate him in the comics too. I mean, he's a low-rent taskmaster, but still. I got the quarters, so I'm just going to beat his ass. If you're trying to play this game without doing it, it's mostly a lot of jumping. It's the old strategy in these games. It's the jumping that does it, you know, the jump kicks. But when you have infinite quarters and you're just giving people the look of the game, why not just do it the quick way? If you're staying tight to him too, that blade doesn't do a lot of good, as you can see. His shots can go everywhere, but even a Grim Reaper blade is no match for a can of pop. The game does get progressively harder, but as you can see, this guy is not exactly the world's toughest villain. Just stay in close and you'll beat him. This is a very fun 4-player game. It's a very fun single-player game. But like I said, we're going to see how long it takes to actually finish. We're down with level 2, and I think we're only rocking here in about 10 minutes. That's the second stage. Gives you time to rest your wrist. The Grim Reaper has regained consciousness, and the Red Skull has commanded him to fight the Avengers to the finish. What has the Red Skull planned next? Scene 3, Challenge from the Bottom of the Sea. This is a fun level 2. I think the whole game is fun. I just now noticed how subpar really the graphics were. I shouldn't say subpar. Everything is so small in terms of scale, where the X-Men game was very much big, like Final Fight. X-Men is Final Fight, but with X-Men. This is Final Fight with the Avengers. I mean, the Ninja Turtles. All these games are, I don't know what came first. Crime Fighters is the one that I really need to play because no one knows about that one. And like I said, you're fighting knockoffs of like Freddy and Jason and shit like that. I think it'd be fun for people to see. The baseball, Batman Ninja, that's another really good one. Of course, I'm a huge fan of puny superheroes. Oh, shut up, wizard. The Punisher is one of my favorite beat-em-up games. I would recommend you buy the arcade one-up Marvel Superheroes cabinet just for the Punisher. I know I'm recommending one, but let's also keep in mind that's about a $300 machine for Marvel Superheroes, X-Men, Children of the Atom, and the Punisher. It's worth it for the Punisher alone because the Punisher is, it had a Sega release, but in the same sense, that Sega release was a little scarce, so copies of that, you're going to pay a really nice chunk of money, which I really don't know. There's Sub-Mariner. Why he's not handling his business. This is the water. He's got Cap doing it, because Cap does everything. Nothing overly difficult in this level. This is actually of the side-scroll shoot levels, this is probably the easiest one. You just have to make sure you stop these friggin' landmines, because for some reason underwater landmines can follow you. Doom to doom. This has a good soundtrack to it. Let me know if you like these, and I'll keep doing them. I still have to upload the final couple chapters of the Punisher for the Xbox, which I had a lot of fun playing. I'm almost sad to be done with that. I'll make seaweed out of you. That's Mech Taco. I don't get it either. All you got to do really is avoid the beams. If you just pick the right place to stand in. I didn't pick the right place to stand in there. Well, I beat the Mech Taco. I really don't understand the name of that, considering it doesn't look like a taco. Oh, now we're in the underwater base where Namor could have clearly done something. Come here, I need you. Too many guns shooting my way. I need this. There. If only there was a soda can available. Oh, this would be frustrating. Very frustrating. Luckily, it doesn't take much to beat these guys. Just come up behind them. A twofer. Hope everybody's having a lovely Christmas. As you watch this, I will be finally leaving the house. Yes. I'm not some fucking 2-bit shut-in. I do go out, but I've avoided a lot of public gatherings ever since I caught COVID, which, let me tell you, don't let people fool you. That shit is no joke. I was sick like an animal. But I'm vaxxed, I'm boosted, and there's a movie theater here that does vaccination-only screenings. So, like, if you ain't vaxxed, you ain't getting in. I'm still a little leery of it, but as you're watching this, always freaking hated the Mandarin. I will be going to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, a week late, but Christmas Day, not a lot of people at the theater. My son really wants to go see it, so yes, I'm going to brave the outside world, so to speak. to go and see Spider-Man. Hopefully it's good. I would give you a review, but I only review things that I'm sent. If I have to spend my money, I don't feel like taking the time to enjoy things as much. I have to really, really be behind the product to do that. And I'm not saying I'm not, but I feel if I've spent my money, I should enjoy it and not do work because of it. I'll tell you in the stream if it's any good. If I ever play a Spider-Man game, the only Spider-Man games, truthfully, is there were a shitload of them when I was younger. I still have most of them. It's only the new ones that are really worth a damn. Like the PlayStations, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, the ones by, I can't think of the name of the company. I hate this guy so much. I remember when he was the funny old man in Iron Man, but at least they corrected that nonsense with Shang-Chi. Black, whack, crack. There. Stay down. I think the Red Skull, yep, you cannot beat me. We'll see about that, jackass. Stage clear. Alright, so we are mowing through this game, and everyone will mow through it. And I have to keep stressing, these games, I buy out the games that I have from Arcade 1-Up, I have surely for the cabinet art. You know, I'm looking at Final Fight, I'm looking at Star Wars. I hate Star Wars. But I love the machine. I love the cabinet. I love that TIE Fighter control. I like the Defender. I like their product. I just sometimes question if the way their prices keep going up, which I get. People are buying. So you can't bitch about the prices if you're going to keep buying. It's nothing against this stuff. I just sometimes think that it can be a bit expensive for what you get. No disrespect to their product, but... I mean, they keep raising them. I have the Marvel pinball machine. Great pinball machine. I love it. I paid like $550. Well, somehow when it got popular and they made another line of them, they're like $700-800 now. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like I said, they're machines, which I like. How do you go from 300 to 700? It's not like the coin cabinets they put in them work, or you put in coins. It's just a little plate. Ugh. Cap, get out of that corner. Like when Rocky was in that corner and they were like, get out of that corner. I think that was when he fought Drago. Drago statue's out now. It looks really slick. I haven't gotten mine yet. It is pre-ordered though. I hope you like the statue reviews. I really want to start doing more comic reviews, but don't seem to have a comic book crowd yet. Hopefully that'll change. Maniac of New York is what I'm currently reading. Juggernaut. I have a big Juggernaut statue. Maniac of New York, like I was saying, that's an awesome book. Don't sleep on that one. That's a great book. The sequel out now, Bronx is Burning. The first issue's out in about 75 different covers, because that's the popular gimmick again, the variant covers. But yeah, the first one, it can cost a little bit to source it, but there's a collected edition of Death Train. It's like $15 you can get on Amazon. Cheap Graphic Novels has it still. I think Organic Price Books may still have it. Really good. I highly recommend getting it. I will plan on doing a review for that. Break. I hate these things. This game does do a number on your wrist. A bad number. Get out of my way. One of the big reasons I started doing this, taking like a lot more care of this channel, because I never did anything. I just randomly put shit up, which, you know, had I followed through with it 5-6 years ago, it'd probably be really big now. As it had momentum in the beginning, now I have to build it back. Was when I said I had COVID, I had it pretty bad. I didn't have the respiratory issues, which thank God for that, but I just laid in bed and for like a week with a fever, and it didn't matter how much medicine I took, or it wouldn't really break the fever. Maybe the fever would go from 103 to 100. Ultron, yeah, Captain America can beat Ultron single-handedly. So I couldn't even watch TV. Like I was just, so I watched a lot of YouTube, and it was so much to watch. It was like I would listen to different things on YouTube, because that's about all I had the energy to do, is turn on my phone and leave it laying in the bed. And so I appreciated everything that people were making. So I was like, you know, we're still in a quarantine. Some areas still in lockdowns. There's still people who are going to get sick. When you're real sick, I've always had a lot of support on the website, always. And I can't thank people enough for that, for making that such a big part of my life. You know, just, it went through a name change, Movie Graveyard, you know, Hardcore Graveyard now, because we have a lot of other stuff. And two, for a while, the only movie news was, this has been delayed. So, changed the name, added more stuff. People always supported that. But when you're sick, you know, you can't really read much. I mean, you can try, but it ain't going to be too fun. But you can always watch or listen to the YouTube. It's right on your phone. It's on your TV, too. I always like to watch myself on the TV. But I figured this is a way to maybe help people pass the time, give them something new. Try to update it daily. It was being updated daily. This week, it was, I think, 4 times out of 7, and that was only because of the holiday. You know, some of the people I do things with, a little bit busy holiday time. I one day couldn't do anything because it was busy. We are now at the 21-minute mark, and I believe I am really coming to the end of this. I've made it to space. I don't really understand why I had to fly to space. I could have just shot a bomb at that and blown it up, but anywho, flying level back. Used to be really good at it. If you have 2 people doing these flying levels, one stay about right here, not all the way to the top, and the other person I recommend about here. Don't want to go all the way down because people will come at the bottom, especially in that sea level. I avoided it, but if you get too far, staying down here doesn't always do a lot of good. Gotta blow this up. This really does do a number on your hands. I can't stress that enough. You can hear me banging away on the Sanwa buttons. Yes, Sanwa buttons. Always upgrade. People say that's stupid. It's not. And let me tell you what, if you have a cabinet and you want to switch out your joysticks and your buttons to do the Sanwas, you don't have to do the LED lights, but definitely invest the money in the Sanwas. You don't need a goddamn physics degree. It's nothing hard. You're not taking a soldering gun. You're merely just rewiring. The only reason it looks a little intimidating is because the wire length is so long. There's just bundles of it knotted up in there. It's not. It's like 2 wires each. So the first time might take you a good 45 minutes to an hour. After that, it's a 15-minute job. But yeah, if you get any kind of cabinet, whether it be an arcade one-up or, you know, if you're having a custom one built for you, which I've had done before, that you just select the Sanwa buttons. Always select them. I used to think it was kind of stupid. Why would I want to upgrade? But boy, when you play, it's just so much nicer. One thing I will give Arcade One-Up credit for, in the early days, the machines just had the, you know, I have to break this single-handedly. Luckily, I'm Captain America. A wrench. A lot of glitching in this. It's look at what damage a wrench can do to a wall. I hate these guys with the guns. Hate them tremendously. Take them out first. There. Now, Captain America has always been one of my favorites. That Ed Brubaker run on Captain America, so amazing. The omnibuses I always recommend because it's just easier to source. It's more economical. And the first one is getting reprinted. Crossbones. That is one villain I can say Marvel really wasted. I mean, he had his introduction there, sort of, in the Winter Soldier, the greatest Marvel movie ever made, and didn't really do anything with him. Came back in the other one in the beginning. It was like, oh, this is cool. As you can see, all you gotta do is get these guys in the corner, and if you can stand here long enough and just destroy your hand. The buzzsaw might only get you once. I need my dangerous wrench. Why doesn't Quicksilver help you? That's always been a question I had. Oh, he ain't shooting me, jackass. There. I need the wrench. Obviously, the wrench of death will defeat this guy. Well, that was stupid. Just land, jackass. I'm losing patience. Used a human being to break a wall. Well, I might not. Yeah, I can go through. Yeah, if you watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if you like the Captain America movies, I can tell you it's the Ed Brubaker novels that really are the inspiration. Or I shouldn't say novels. I mean, it was his run on the books. Those were the inspiration for all this stuff that you're watching. God, this guy's a pain in the ass. I mean, they're very good. I would recommend them enough. You know, that's the whole story, Cap, and he dies. Bucky takes his place. You know, he goes on trial. Bucky becomes the new Cap. Cap comes back. I mean, all of it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Civil War. I mean, Civil War, of course, is its own story, but it's still laid heavily from that. Those are the ones to read. They're very good. I'd recommend them. Just like all the Daredevil stuff, the majority of everything you've seen with him is really taken off the Frank Miller stuff. Some people will say it's not. I mean, the Hawkeye show, you know, Echo, that's not the Frank Miller run. That's more current. And forgive me, I can't think of the artist that was in the Marvel Knight imprint where they introduced Echo. That book has actually gone psychotically high in value. Red Skull. We are now clocking 26 minutes it took me to get to. And this is a single play. You know, if you have a double play, you're going to get through things quicker. It's not like they're going to throw 10 times the enemies at you. I got to get over on this side. Is anyone having Chinese food for Christmas? I always have to ask that because it's not just in a Christmas story. It's Christmas Day. No, I didn't have Chinese food. I had it yesterday. Szechuan sunrise, baby. Heh, I'm going to hold this guy. He's my weapon. I threw him on the Red Skull. The Red Skull clearly knows karate. As you can see by his judo poses, I'm fighting him on a plane. And as you can see, for a main villain, he's the drizzling shits. He hasn't gotten a hit on me. That was easy peasy. Lemon squeezy, bitches. Now it gets a little more tricky. It's like fighting Kang from the Ninja Turtles, especially when you see his face in there. I'm just going to stand and start getting the drop on him. This is Mecha Skull. Yes, Mecha Skull's a little trickier, although not. He can stand in the right spot. See, he's shooting, but he can't get me, so I got a lot of power on him. Not too hard if you have a lot of quarters. If you notice as you get hit, your face makes like, when you get hit, if you look up in the corner there where your head is, it'll go like, oh. Mecha Skull can be a bitch. Two people jump kick him. Have one person strictly doing jump kicks. You have to find his blind spot. I found it too late. You can really hear the number this thing does on your hands. I mean, this is a combination quarter. I mean, it's a button mash game. All these games from this era were button mashers. It's also a quarter eater. Until you play it so much, then everything becomes easy. I used to be able to beat Ninja Turtles on like 50 cents, where in the beginning it cost me 30, 40 bucks. Now I have the actual, that was one of the first arcade machines I ever bought, because I need to buy Turtles in time, but these actual full-size machines are expensive. And I have disposable income, but I don't have that kind to be dropping on machines weekly or monthly. Kind of special treats. All right. Why they didn't just come and Why Wonder Man's worthless ass didn't come just help me or shoot this stuff. But now we're flying away. I guess it's a cutscene I'm talking on. These games didn't have cutscenes. Well, I mean, kind of. This is your payoff in form. Boom, boom, boom. We blew all that shit up. What-ha? There's the moon base. The moon is intact. The moon suffers absolutely zero damage. It's just the base that blew up and caught on fire. The moon, as you can see, does not have a scratch on it. And my blowing up apparently didn't do dick either. So thanks to the brave and valiant efforts of our heroes, the Avengers, Red Skull, and thanks to the heroes of the Avengers, Red Skull and his evil plan was crushed, and the world could once again breathe easily. But for the Avengers, the battle doesn't end here. Wherever evil exists in this world, they must confront it. Yeah, see, back in these days, you didn't get no cutscenes. You got words. In the name of justice, Avengers unite. I don't know why it didn't say assemble. Because every nerd, including me, popped in Endgame when he said Avengers assemble. Oh, wait a minute, though. Whoosh. I flew off screen. Wait for it. Wait for it. I don't know where he came from. Maybe it was another fake Red Skull. Anywho, there you have it. This was the Captain America and the Avengers is the actual name for it. 4-player arcade game. I'm going to throw this up at the end. You want to buy the machine for $700? If Arcade 1-Up would have made the machine a Captain America machine, I would have probably had two of them. I would have had one in my office, then I would have also had like one in my living room, because that is one of my favorite cabinets. They went with the X-Men cabinet, which is a lot more iconic. This, I think the X-Men is the better looking of the game, but I think this is the more fun of the two. X-Men took me 33 minutes to beat. This one took me about 31 and 16 seconds. And now I'm just got the credits playing. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm glad you people like this. I kind of like doing them. It gives me a chance to sit and play an old game for a little bit when I have a little bit of peace, because I do like these retro games. But I want to thank you. Be sure to visit the website at www.hardcoregraveyard.com. Watch all the shows we got. We got Recapping the Elite with Cousin Cecil. We've got Harbingers of Horror with Lilith Fury. We've got the Barbed Wire Bite with ECW Original, Pitbull #1, Gary Wolf. I mean, we've got everything. Yes, I'm playing this on the Pandora Key 5S. There's a couple more modern versions. This is a machine. A lot of games on it. I would highly recommend picking one of these up. You can get them, like I said before. Amazon has them. You know, Etsy's, AllExpress. Or go to Amazon or eBay. Just be safe. There is a new version out. Mine is the fully lighted marquee one, but there's a new version out that has more on them. A lot of great games on this. I can't recommend the machine enough as it scrolls through and I continue to babble. I want everyone to have a very, very Merry Christmas, and I will be back tomorrow.